Franklin Delano Roosevelt was certainly not revolutionary. Although he pushed reform acts like Social Security and the AAA, how new really was his New Deal? His goal wasn't to revolutionize in the first place. This is not to say he didn't make any changes. He did, but he reformed, not revolutionized. How helpful was taking land away from farmers in order to boost their production? Sure, he was helping some people, the rich and prosperous. But what about those who really needed his help? The low-income farmers and the forgotten men, barely able to keep food on the table, who weren't included in the Social Security Act. The sharecroppers and tenant farmers following the ancient methods of farming, not knowing any other way, who lost their jobs from the AAA. The working widowed mothers, making up half of the country's population, left alone to fend for their families while dust storms blew violently through the country, raking agriculture and lives wherever they went. Minorities, like African Americans and Hispanics, who were purposefully forgotten and left out of the government aid and protection. His expansion of executive power has often been looked to as an unprecedented act of genius. But extending the power of the president by taking it away from the people is simply a power play. Trying to take it away from those who should have it, from the democracy of our country, and giving it to a few leaders on the top. Allowing workers to unionize was perhaps solely a method of distraction. If the people felt that they had a voice, the government could take control and make larger decisions on their own. You can argue that the Wagner Act protected workers, but what does that really mean? What matters is that the government's acts were being followed by the companies. Sure, the government could help the workers, but only after the strikes were broken up violently, like in 1937, 2 years after the Wagner Act was implemented. Sure, Roosevelt has made some changes in his time and helped our country through tough times. But we must ask ourselves if his actions were revolutionary or just temporary relief. After all, he removed many of his acts in 1937. Did he really help the country and create a country in which no one is left out? Were his actions truly a step up from what the country had seen before? The answer to these questions is no.